Latest update, the jig is up. Nigga, I'm up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Niggas look up the hove. I never looked up to them.
So apparently, Jay-Z kicked out Rory and Ma out of his section at the Roots Picnic freestyle. Allegedly told them, I thought you were both Drake fans.
Go. And once you combine Drake cryptically posting this image 2 years ago randomly and then him dissing Jay-Z all over Iceman, a lot of people are thinking that Drake has always been preparing to diss Jay-Z.
Only two people we want to see Drake work with is Nicki Minaj and goddamn Lil Wayne. The rest of y'all, toodaloo.
All right, this situation is getting out of control, and not in a small way either. What looked like just another festival performance might have quietly turned into one of the biggest industry tensions we've seen in a long time. Because after Jay-Z stepped on that stage at the Roots picnic, everything changed. During what was supposed to be a routine performance, Jay-Z delivered a surprise a cappella freestyle, and instead of keeping things light, he used that moment to address critics. But here's where it gets interesting. These weren't random shots. He appeared to be targeting very specific people, and fans immediately started connecting the dots. Names like Drake, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, Kanye West, Dame Dash, all seemed to be referenced in some way. And once that clip hit the internet, everything escalated fast. Now here's the twist. Instead of ignoring it, the Young Money side seems to be reacting, and not quietly. There are strong rumors that Drake, Nicki, and Lil Wayne are all preparing to respond, and possibly together. If that actually happens, this could easily turn into a full-scale industry moment. Drake even added fuel to the fire with a cryptic post hinting that he might go full Solange on Jay-Z. Now that's not just a random reference. That's a very specific message tied to a moment in Jay's past that the internet has never forgotten. So clearly, whatever is happening behind the scenes is serious enough for Drake to bring that up publicly. Now let's slow this down and really understand where this tension started, because this didn't come out of nowhere. Jay-Z's response seems to trace back directly to Drake's latest project, Iceman. On that project, Drake delivers multiple lines that seem aimed at the older generation in hip-hop, suggesting that their time at the top is fading. He never directly says Jay-Z's name, but the tone and wording were enough for fans to immediately make the connection. And if there's one thing we know about Jay-Z, it's that he doesn't ignore messages like that. He listens, he observes, and when he responds, he does it in a calculated way. That freestyle at Roots Picnic? That wasn't random, that was intentional.
The jig is up. Nigga, up 10. Wrong chart, champ. You gotta look up again. Look up the hove. I never looked up to them. The crackers got your publishing gangster. Go talk tough to them. Don't talk success to me. These workers in perpetuities. How your contract is.
Now let's talk about Nicki Minaj, because this situation goes way deeper than just music. Nicki's issues with Jay-Z and Roc Nation have been building for years, and she's been very vocal about it. She's made multiple claims in the past, some about business disagreements, others about more serious situations that have kept fans questioning what's really going on behind the scenes. So when Jay-Z finally addressed her during his performance, people expected clarity, but that's not what they got. Instead of directly responding to her claims, Jay took a different approach. He referenced personal aspects of her life, including topics related to her husband and alleged lifestyle choices. Now here's the problem with that. It didn't resolve anything. It didn't answer the questions people have been asking for years. If anything, it made things more personal, more intense, and honestly, more messy. Because from Nicki's perspective, her issue has always been about business, about money, about agreements that she believes were never honored properly. And that's why fans are now looking at this situation differently. This isn't just rap beef. This might be a deeper industry dispute involving ownership, control, and financial power. When Tidal was first introduced, it was marketed as something revolutionary, a platform where artists would have real ownership. Nicki was reportedly one of those artists who bought into that vision. But when the company was later sold, things didn't line up the way many expected, and Nicki has been speaking about that ever since. So when Jay avoids addressing that directly, and instead shifts the conversation toward personal topics, it raises even more questions. And that's exactly why this situation refuses to die down.
That lady back on the stuff, she sound like she in love with him. Her kid can't even take their kids. Enough of them. A rapper can't be my eye. I got MAGA Republicans. Them shots came from the very top of the government. Good luck with them. I'm governed by God.
Now let's move to Lil Wayne. And honestly, this might be the most layered part of the entire story, because Wayne and Jay-Z's relationship has always been complicated. Not openly hostile all the time, but never completely smooth either. What makes this even more interesting is that there was a time when Wayne, along with Drake and Nicki, genuinely respected Jay-Z as a blueprint. He wasn't just another rapper. He was the example. He was the standard that artists studied when they wanted to understand longevity, business moves, and cultural impact. Even Drake's early career reflects that. Jay-Z co-signed him, collaborated with him, gave him moments that helped elevate his image early on. Tracks like Light Up felt like mentorship in real time. It wasn't just a feature. It was a signal to the industry that Drake was someone to watch. But over the years, something shifted, and it didn't happen overnight. It was gradual, subtle, almost invisible at first. As Drake grew bigger, more dominant, more influential, the dynamic started to change. It no longer felt like mentor and student. It started to feel like competitors operating in the same space, chasing the same legacy, and influencing the same audience. Drake's confidence didn't help either. He openly spoke about taking the top spot, about becoming the face of the industry, about surpassing the legends that came before him. Now in hip-hop, that mindset is normal. It's part of the culture, but not everyone reacts to it the same way, especially when the person making those statements is actually backing it up with numbers, streams, and global influence. Then came the art talk moment, when Drake joked about Jay-Z constantly referencing expensive art in his music. It sounded light, almost playful. But Jay didn't treat it that way. He responded musically, subtly but clearly, and that response showed that he was paying attention, even to the smallest comments. And from that moment on, things changed. Their relationship became defined by subliminals, indirect shots, quiet competition that lasted for years without ever fully exploding into a direct confrontation. But behind the scenes, the tension kept building. Then the business side added even more layers. Tidal was supposed to be a major move, a power play that would shift control back to artists. Drake initially supported it, but eventually chose a different path when bigger opportunities came along. And that decision may have created a silent divide between him and Jay-Z. Because in an industry where loyalty and alignment matter, moves like that don't go unnoticed. And not long after that, the ghostwriting controversy appeared. Whether connected or not, fans started linking timelines and building theories about what was really happening behind the scenes. Some believed it was coincidence. Others believed it was strategic. But either way, it added another layer of complexity to Drake's position in the industry. Fast forward to now, and Drake has made his stance clear. He doesn't see Jay-Z as someone he needs guidance from anymore. In fact, he's openly suggested that he values independence and success over mentorship, especially when he's already dominating the streaming world. And that dominance isn't small. Drake has broken records, led charts, and shaped an entire era of music consumption. His influence goes beyond music. It touches culture, trends, and even how artists release projects. So from his perspective, he's not chasing anyone anymore. He's already at the top, or at least that's how he sees it. Now bring Nicki back into this equation, because her situation ties directly into the business side. She believed in the ownership model. She invested in it. She supported the vision publicly. And when things didn't play out as expected, she didn't stay silent. She spoke up repeatedly. But instead of resolution, the situation kept escalating. The more she spoke, the more tension built. And the more tension built, the more the public started paying attention. And now it's reached a point where everything feels connected. Drake, Nicki, Wayne, all with different reasons, different experiences, but possibly the same target. And if they actually decide to move together instead of individually, that could completely change the balance of power in this situation.
And then there was something that happened a few months ago that if I wasn't going to do it before, something happened a couple months ago.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it, but I'll say that sometimes people can push you so much that they push you all the way into your next calling.
And finally, Lil Wayne. This is where things shift from business and subliminals into pure lyrical energy. Wayne's history with Jay-Z goes back years, and while it hasn't always been direct conflict, there have been moments that clearly show tension. One of the biggest examples came when Jay-Z made a statement that many saw as him asserting financial dominance over Wayne. At that time, Jay was already operating on a billionaire level, while Wayne was still building his empire. But Wayne didn't respond with numbers, he responded with bars. And not just any bars, aggressive, direct, unapologetic lines that reflected classic battle rap energy. That response caught attention because it wasn't subtle. It wasn't hidden behind metaphors. It was straight to the point. And what made it even more interesting is that Jay-Z never gave a direct reply to that level of challenge. Now that sparked debate. Some fans believe Jay chose to stay above it. Others think he simply didn't want to engage in that kind of lyrical battle at that stage of his career. But either way, that moment stayed in people's minds. Then you add in industry decisions, major opportunities, performances, and moments where fans believe Wayne may have been overlooked. All of that builds tension over time. And now everything seems to be aligning towards something bigger. There are growing rumors that Drake, Nicki, and Lil Wayne could be working on a joint project. And if that actually happens, it could completely shift the conversation. Because this wouldn't just be about music. It could involve real stories, real experiences, and perspectives that haven't been fully shared before. Drake already hinted at escalation by referencing a past incident involving Jay, and that alone shows this situation could get serious very quickly. So now the question becomes, is this just hype, or is something real about to unfold? Do they actually have something major to reveal? Or is this simply another chapter in hip-hop rivalry playing out in front of us? One thing is clear. The tension is real, the timing is interesting, and whatever happens next could easily become one of the biggest moments in the industry this year. So let me ask you, do you think Jay-Z should be worried right now, or is this all being blown out of proportion? Drop your thoughts below and make sure you stay locked in, because this story is far from over.